Hi guys, this is Bruno again, Bruno Ver from TBS World, and again, not related to Roger. Today we have Etienne vantKruys from Token Research Group and Chiron Labs. Hi Etienne, how are you doing? And welcome to the show.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Life is great, and obviously Bitcoin in an uptrend. Just to get right to it, the positive sentiment in the market is putting a smile on so many people's faces. That was generally the trend I saw last week at Consensus in New York. So yeah, man, it's good. Let's hope this continues.
Okay, thank you. So you were at Consensus. Awesome. So Etienne, tell me, how did you hear or when did you hear from Bitcoin and how did you get involved?
Oh yeah. Long story short, I got interested in the financial markets, especially the equities markets, as a teenager through my uncle. So I got the bug pretty early. Started trading, and through my pharmacy background, was actively involved with biotechnology, basically shorting them, and they resemble crypto the most. And then the financial crisis hit in late 2008, 2009. And after that period, I got really interested in what is finance, what is banking, what is money in general. And going down that rabbit hole, trying to peek behind the scene of what's happening, I stumbled upon Bitcoin on a internet forum, and somebody referred to a documentary that was like 2012, late 2012. That's when I first heard of it, and like, okay, kind of like got interested. But it was at first to me just a tradable asset, right? You understood little about the general philosophy of it. So then, like 2013, I bought my first Bitcoin. 14, heard about Ethereum, but it was more or less just from a trading standpoint, looking at it at Poloniex or Kraken. Nothing. It was just a side thing. And then late 16, I decided to like switch careers totally. I was heavily involved with elite sports performance, like coaching the national team of Holland, youth selections and whatnot, going to NBA training camps in the States. So I come from that background, like performance and stock markets. So then in late 16, I decided to go full time, like no longer on the sidelines, tippy toeing, getting your feet wet. Late 16, I decided jump in full time and head first and go with the flow. Started traveling. So in 17, I got to my first consensus, going to conferences, like building a network. Like, okay, what is this new industry
Okay.
that was forming? That's the general build up to my crypto life in a sense.
Okay. So how did you experience the drop from 18K to 5K?
You're getting right to it, Bruno. Um, I think let me share an anecdote. I was in Macau for the Sora Ventures conference in November, and we were at a small event in a club, and somebody tapped me on the shoulder like, check your Binance app. And I open the app and I see Bitcoin minus 15%. And everybody looked at each other like, holy shit, what's happening? Because we were obviously coming from that slow, gradual drop down. But my uncle, no, my father-in-law had already told me in April, March of 2018, like, dude, you got to get out. I experienced such a really fast build up from a particular asset already that was in the internet bubble, late 1999, 2000. And he said, get out, get out, get out. This is not normal. What goes up fast will come down fast. So I had already like cashed out and totally all the way back to fiat most of like the gains, as people call it. So the hit wasn't that spectacular on my part, but obviously you worry for a sense like, okay, hey man, what is the general trend? How long is this going to take for the market? So I took it pretty well because I had exited so many of my positions earlier in the year, like March and April. Remember, in April the market had a slight, small recovery. Early April, I exited that to fiat like 75%, 80% of my portfolio. So whatever was left on the markets were either positions I couldn't exit, like ICOs, ICO holdings that was still waiting to get unlocked. You couldn't exit, or tokens you received from an advisory consultancy job, or some general alts or bitcoins you still had on some exchanges. So, like I said, coming back to that story of Macau, there was just small positions. I was like, okay, this is not life threatening. It's not like I would need a McDonald's job next week.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, Etienne, you were telling me, and you were telling me you changed you did a career switch basically
Yes.
into blockchain and things that have to do with cryptocurrency. So what is it exactly that you do today?
Currently, I'm involved with two of my partners, Jens and Matthias. We run a market making firm. It's basically we provide liquidity and price support for projects and exchanges. Like on a daily basis, we get on calls and try to surface these projects and exchanges, where we have an algorithmic trading bot. And on the back end, there's a little bit of asset management happening, because obviously an algo trading is actively being a participant in the marketplace. So there's some sort of trading happening, is actively trading.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever profits we make on the back end, we share with the projects. So the projects, they're able to like get their investment back and also grow their treasury. So that's what I do, like 80% of my time. And from the Token Research Group umbrella, we kind of like do general advisory for projects, helping them with marketing strategies, tokenomics, exchange listings, business development, like getting MOUs and partnerships with enterprise partners and whatnot. So those are the bulk of my activities, like 90% of the week.
That's the daily life of Etienne.
Yeah, man. And I also have two daughters. Those are a big part of my time, which is why I work from home. I want to be involved with family life, even though I travel that much.
Okay, very cool, very cool. So, tell me a bit more with this Bitcoin going up again right now, and there is a lot of new people getting involved, a lot of newbies, green people jumping in right now. What is the kind of advice that you would give the new people getting involved in the cryptocurrency
Yeah.
industry?
That's a good question. First is always invest with money you prepare to lose and you're able to lose, right? Like it's not going to make you homeless. Don't gamble on your family's vacation money. Have a solid approach to.
We have a guy in Holland who did that. There is a guy in Holland.
Seriously?
He sold his house. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. The Diddy story is wonderful, but that's an anomaly, right? The Diddy story. I know Diddy. The Diddy story is an anomaly, right? When you spot the trend early and you get in, of course, all blessings, right? All the best of the world. But if you're going to get into a market that you know nothing of, right? It is what it is. The industry is unregulated. There's no SEC to protect you.
And it's already pretty mature.
And it's immature, right? We had the parabolic rise already. There is absolutely no sense in getting in without some sort of protection, proper information, trading strategies, investment strategies. I would say do your research, and not only do your research, compare your research, because every investor, you're the easiest person to fool, because we have that circular thinking. You're going to fool yourself. Everything you're thought of, where from a psychological standpoint, there's confirmation bias in every investment deal you're going to make. You're looking for confirmation on your own behalf. And that it's just, if you could be your own critic, you might get out healthy returns. Other than that, you'll fool yourself more often than not. So like go on YouTube and watch 100 hours of investment advice from guys like Warren Buffett or whatever, and start with small amounts, like tiny amounts, just to get some confirmation from the markets if
Okay.
your strategy is solid or not, right? Because if you put in $5 and your return is $4, maybe your strategy is not that sound, right? Right. So have the market tell you if your investment philosophy has any merit at all. So yeah, that will be my general advice to newbies in the markets.
Okay, thank you so much. So you experienced BitConference last year, and you're definitely coming again this year because you're speaking, and people who want to meet you, they will be able to meet you at the conference. Um, how did you experience the conference last year, and why would you recommend people to join us in Brussels this year?
That's a good one. The overall theme for that is pretty simple, and I think you would agree to this one. Software development and in general technology in Europe, it needs help and bolstering. I feel like the European scene for investment capital, software, taxation, regulation, it needs these type of conferences. Europe, to me, is that sleeping giant, right? If you go to Silicon Valley, the buzz you feel for software development, it's like on every street corner, right? You go to China, you go to Korea, it's almost on every street corner. Tell me the latest or the biggest innovation that's been done in Europe in the last 5 years. It's almost none, right? And even if we find one like ASML, we've seen SoundCloud in Germany, we've seen Angry Birds in Sweden, I believe. You've had a few anomalies, but in general, software conferences, software development, tech startup, the startup scene in Europe, we need that anabolic steroid injection to inspire and help build a network of investors, startups. And I feel like the TBS conference would be such a place where all these players, as far as investing, VCs, startups, could connect with a team, whether it's crypto or startup. I think that that is a beautiful place to like combine these forces and for people to build their network, talk about ideas, and hopefully find that catalyst acceleration point for their project or even their investment fund. That would be my answer to that. So like TBS is a great, especially in the Western European scene, man. Brussels, home of the EU, we should invite everybody from the EU to join, I believe. Because software in Europe, we need that help. We need that injection point. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Etienne. Yeah, I must say that I'm feeling. Last year we hit about 400 people, and I hope this year we can hit the same. It's gonna be tough because I feel like the ticket sales are a little bit more down this year than last year. And I feel that the startup scene and the tech scene and blockchain scene in Brussels is not as popular in some other zones, like you just mentioned, Silicon Valley or
Yeah.
Switzerland, Malta. But anyway, thank you so much for being here today, for taking the time for this interview.
No worries, man. My pleasure.
Awesome.
And looking forward to the conference. And if you need anything, I'm here to help. And awesome. Make
Thank
it
you so
work. Make
much,
it
Etienne.
happen. No
So
worries, man.
everybody wants to meet Etienne. Join us in Brussels, June 12th. Those people of you that can't make it, or you might have questions before the conference for Etienne, just drop them down here, and Etienne will gladly be answering them. If you have any suggestions of people I should interview or people we should invite to the event as well, drop them down here, and we will definitely invite them over or try to interview them. Thank you so much, and have a good day. Bye bye.
No worries, man. Same to you, man. Take care. Bye bye.
Voila.